Owned Properties Cupop regular meeting to order. It's 6:30 exactly, and on Monday, April 15th, and no one is here for public comments, so we will not have any public comments. And we'll review the approval of the minutes. You have a copy of the minutes in front of you. Any discussion for the minutes? Could you give her a set? There's a set right there. Yeah, yep, perfect, yep. Okay, I'll give you a minute to look it over. I want to thank Patty. For always putting the minutes together in a very, very timely fashion. She always does a good job. Thank you, Patty.
Should be done every year.
Any comments, any discussion? Okay. Yeah. May I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Marty? Okay. So Nancy Polk, first motion, and Marty the second motion. Okay. So moving on to the fourth item on the agenda. So Cupop, hi David. Cupop First Tuesday Library Workshop Series updates. Nancy's going to update us on the invasive species, and that presentation will be at the Woodbridge Library on Tuesday, May 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. So Nancy, any updates for us?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
A few. Maybe I can give this stuff to Sheila.
Okay.
This is from the Extension Service. They're in Hamden on Skiff Street.
Okay.
That's where the master gardener lives.
Okay.
And he gave me these things. And maybe you could copy them and display them on a table, make them look good. Thanks, Sheila. So one of the invasive species that we need to be concerned about is called giant hogweed. Giant is not an exaggeration. The plants in Bethany are about 10 feet tall, and they just grow every year. They're on Amity Road, which is a state highway, but they really need to come down because they can burn and cause scarring.
Oh, wow.
So, like mega poison ivy, kind of attractive big white umbrella flowers on these giant stalks.
Wow.
And the sap is what causes the
that.
burns. We have interesting invasives all over the place. If any of them in my garden are ready, I do see the garlic mustard already. If any others, I will bring them so people can actually see
that
them.
would
We
be
have
great.
pictures.
I
I
was
have
gonna
mile a minute vine, but I
Yeah.
don't know if that'll be out by then. But there are pictures on those brochures.
Is there a picture of the hogwort there?
Hogweed?
Hogweed?
Yeah. Yes, but it's Hogwarts is a nice
Harry
school,
Potter?
private school. They're not in color, those
No?
pages,
Okay.
which would be helpful. This lovely poster out here, that's from 2012.
Okay.
And it's been updated, and there are many more things on there. I guess I'll make a copy of that and drop it off for you during the week. There are a lot of things in people's gardens
That people don't realize. Yeah, I'm sure, I'm a gardener, and I probably don't realize that.
I have some are really pretty, like
Yeah.
yellow irises.
Yeah.
But they're pretty aggressive. They grow well in damp soil, also dry, anywhere. They're just, and you dig them out, they come back.
Yeah.
Same with
Wow.
gooseneck loosestrife. These things are indestructible. But gooseneck loosestrife is attractive and
Yeah.
harmless,
Yeah.
relatively harmless.
Yep.
Hogweed and some of the other things should be taken really seriously. And
Okay.
I think maybe we can contact the state, David, and tell them to get that stuff out of there. Somebody has to come in like a
Yeah.
hazmat suit with
Yeah,
a
yeah,
tank and a sprayer. I just looked at some pictures.
yeah.
Eric Larson, the master gardener at the experiment station, from Yukon. I think he or someone will come from there. They'll be camped out next to those brochures and offer people assistance. They can answer questions. They're local. They can offer a lot.
Okay.
I will introduce Rose, and she will show slides.
Now, who's Rose?
Sheila, we're going to need a
Slide projector.
yeah, Rose Hiskus.
Hiskus?
Yes, and she's coming from the Agricultural Experiment Station, and she will talk and then answer questions.
Is that in Hartford?
That's in New Haven, I think.
New Haven?
New Haven.
Oh, New Haven, okay,
Huntington Street, I think.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's the place you go with soil samples
Yeah,
to
yeah,
have them
yeah.
tested. What else can I tell you? Well, this is a little off topic. I was thinking we have flora, we have water. What we are missing is fauna. I'm sure you're all entertained now by large quantities of turkeys with the big fans, and they're all carrying on in your yards. I have about 25 animals, and moose have made it as far as Guilford. So I was thinking, and there are lots of them up north, but they're moving down. I was thinking of one way we might do something is to ask the water company to put panda cams, you know, those cameras
Yes,
that are just
yes,
there,
yeah.
and maybe involve Beecher and Amity teachers, but it would have to be up to them how they want to integrate this into their curriculum. You know, the little guys will be very happy to see a picture of a deer, and the older ones they do have an environmental science class. So in some way, if we can support that, that might be the
Something
the
positive.
third leg of this
Yeah,
series, something to do with animals, and we have lots and lots of them.
oh, yeah. Are any bear sightings yet this spring?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
On
yeah,
the other side of town so far.
yeah.
But we had them knock over our beehives a couple years
Ooh.
ago, so now we have a electrified fence,
Oh.
but big bear, little fence, I don't know. He hasn't been by, he's over on Peck Hill, is
Yeah.
it?
He was
Northrop.
down here off of Rimmon.
Wow. Yeah.
Last week.
Well,
Walker
last year,
Street.
my neighbor had them in his backyard, and Marty
Yeah, we
had
had
them
'em.
in you in your backyard.
Yeah.
You're not too far from me.
Look at this
So-
one on Walker Street.
Oh, he's
It's
so
right off Amity Road.
Wow.
That big one. Oh, yeah.
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 Nancy, I know that
Couple
they-
streets
certain
from me,
parts
so
of the
it's
country,
nice.
they use goats for taking care of these invasive plants and poison ivy and other
In,
kinds of things like that.
Westville, and they have a big sign next to the goats, how to contact those people. They're eating Japanese knotweed. We have a beautiful display of Japanese knotweed.
We have a lot of that, yeah.
On the border of Woodbridge and Bethany, on the left side, it's this high, with little white flowers.
There's a lot of it on Sonia Road as well.
You gotta pay for those goats. Those are working goats, and they also don't work solo. They get lonely, so you get
You need a bunch of them.
few
yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
And I will get you I don't know when the farmer's market is going to open there, but, a month or so. I'll try to get the information for the,
Farm up in Bethany, wasn't it? One that got hit by the tornado. They had a goat.
We have,
They had a goat
they're
or two.
friends of Pua's. Lockett, maybe?
No,
Meadows,
Lockett Meadow.
Lockett Meadow.
No, that was the one I was thinking of.
Don't
but
they
that-
have goats up there?
I haven't been in a lot.
Okay.
No, they sell produce.
You're thinking of Clover Nook on Fairfield.
Clovernook, yeah. Clovernook had a
That's
goat
what I'm thinking.
or two. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good suggestion. It's a good thought.
I
Yeah.
don't know how reciprocal they'll be, but at the very first house on our street, which is actually orange, they have lots of goats. They have a whole goat little farm there, and you can see them from the road. I don't
He
know.
has goats. I believe he has goats.
There is an issue with goats and poison ivy. They eat the poison ivy, but then you can't pet the goats.
Oh. They're working goats, they don't want to be petted.
You don't want kids walking. I mean, that's all on the signage in Westville, but I'll see what I can find out about.
The only other way to get rid of it is by spraying it with stuff that we don't want to use.
That's right. But some of these things,
Or
like the
pulling it
hogweed,
out.
are
Japanese,
a
you
menace,
can't get
or
rid
a
of it by
public health
pulling it out.
menace.
There's nothing
Well,
more
if you pull it out by the roots, you can. If you pull it out by the roots, you can get rid of it. So that's what I've been doing. And that's why almost every year I get poison ivy. So I don't recommend it,
Oh,
but
those
you know.
roots are
yeah.
so deep.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, the
It
poison
almost-
ivy you can get rid of, the knotweed you can't.
No, right.
Well, and the goats don't they don't crop to the ground. I've noticed that. The knotweed plants must be delicious. They eat a lot of them, but they leave a stubble about 2 feet high. And they eat all the poison ivy over there too, right by Edgewood Park. We
Okay.
will have some time for people to ask questions. And I think people in Woodbridge should have a lot
Oh,
of
they will
questions
have a lot
about
of
their
questions.
plants,
Without a doubt, yeah.
how to eradicate them.
Well, thank you, Nancy, for all your work on this project. We're looking forward to attending. Everybody hopefully will make it that evening.
What about publicity, Sheila? Is there something we should do, or are you going to do?
Yeah, so we've gotten some information out already, and we're continuing to do that. That's kind of why we branded this the First Tuesdays Library Series.
Okay.
So one thing I was thinking, so we're doing Tuesday, May 7th, first Tuesday of May, and then Tuesday, June 4th, first
June
Tuesday.
4th.
And then I was saying to Laura that the first Tuesday in July, there's a concert on the Green. So perhaps there's an opportunity to have a table.
Yep.
We could talk about animals in Woodbridge, animals you might find in your backyard, what to do, what to know. You could, rather than having a presentation, you could just have some information available, talk with concert goers. A lot of kids on the Green, so they might be interested in.
Now, Nancy, did you want to spearhead that also, or is someone else interested in spear? I know that wind outside is amazing. It feels like winter, but anyway,
The howling wind.
yeah.
Let's start. It's always nice to have help, but
Nancy, are you aware
Any-
that Hamden has a forest ranger
uh,
who was very knowledgeable in
what's his name? The tree guy?
I don't remember his name. I've heard him speak a couple of times with the Boy Scouts. He does,
Yeah. There's
you know, tree identification and plant identification.
I think he came here. I'm on the Notable
he might have.
Tree Commission. That's probably the same
Yeah,
person.
he does a good presentation. If you're
We
interested.
definitely need to do something about the trees in Woodbridge, but one at a time, right?
Another time, one topic at a time. Okay, so you're gonna.
I'm going to think
You're
about
gonna-
animals, and I'm going to talk
and
to
if
Sheila.
anybody else is interested,
I mean,
helping
if you
out.
want a table, we can find out what it takes to, just get one reserved, because, the guys have to put them out, so.
Yeah,
It would be nice if you could go to Beecher and Amity and say, animals? And see what the teachers say. Yes, we do that already, or if that's a good idea, or my curriculum's full. Just
Yeah.
see if there's
They
something.
do stuff with animals at Beecher. They have, that woman, Julie Collier, comes in every year about the birds of prey.
Mm.
She has a whole program.
Mhm.
And they do,
We have
Matt
a-
does a ton of stuff, yeah.
And the water company, because those cameras, I think, probably are more money than Woodbridge wants to spend at the moment. But the water company, I think, has some as part of their security system. Maybe we can work with them. Anybody have contacts there? I used to, but he left.
Well, I have Kate, who was here, the speaker. She's from the Water Authority.
yes.
Good,
And she's actually offered to get other people involved at the presentation.
good.
But
And
Yeah.
I know someone on the Conservation Commission, Frank, I think,
Yes.
has a, either is part of the Water Authority or there's some kind of connection there too.
Okay.
Because I would also, I mean, I don't know if I don't want to speak out of turn, but I would also be at the table that first, as part of the Conservation
That
Commission,
would be
that
great.
first Tuesday in July.
Yeah,
If
we collaborate,
Sure.
yeah,
just
that's the whole
perfect,
purpose of
yeah,
having
that
you
would be
here, so we
great.
can collaborate.
Tables.
Yeah,
Great.
perfect.
So we'll add that as the July.
And here's a
first Tuesday
segue.
in July.
regarding that little patch by the Fitzgerald field there that they cleared. Now, there was a lot of poison ivy there. Do we know, Sheila, if the poison ivy was removed or if it's still there?
Oh, along the edge?
By Amity
into
Road,
those
by
trees.
Center,
It
Center
looks
Road?
like it was taken away, but
Yeah, there's a plan now to try to plant something that will grow in its place so that
yeah.
invasives don't come back, right? They've got it down to the ground level now.
Oh, good.
And
There's
there's
so
a plan, it's part
much
of this
poison ivy here.
beautification plan
Right,
for the town
right.
center.
Now, there was a tree that was donated, and that may be part of planted over there. I was thinking of donating a tree.
Well, isn't that
Oh,
nice? There's a
also,
form
so
on the website.
hopefully other people,
Right on. Yeah.
other people will consider
That'd be lovely.
doing that, like maybe a nice flowering tree, because that's so important. It's the gateway, it's, you know, it's part of the gateway to the town center. And to have flowers and to beautify it, I think it will make a statement for the people of Woodbridge and what they care about. So,
That'd be wonderful.
yeah, so, okay. Anything else on the topic? Moving on. So, the water quality is going to be Tuesday, June 4th. We've said it already, but it doesn't hurt to repeat it. From 6 to 8 p.m. And Leslie, I'm sure you have a lot to say on this topic. You've brought in a lot of materials, and we appreciate
Exhibit ABC.
all the work you've done on this.
Thank you. It's a labor of love, but it hasn't been an easy task. There were several people with whom I spoke, and they semi-committed to it. The one that came to mind was not the Quinnipiac, but the now I'm forgetting the state one. Isn't this terrible?
Is it aquarium?
No,
The Water Authority?
the
Regional,
yeah.
the regional water.
Not the one that where Kate is from.
Oh, okay.
But the one that oversees basically the state. I can't remember.
It'll come to you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Chris, the man's name. I probably intended to forget it only because I was really kind of led on. We're Chris Nelson. Does that
Chris
sound
Nelson, yeah.
familiar?
DEP.
DEP. Oh, thank
Okay,
you so
yeah,
much.
yeah,
Anyway, and every week it was, I'm gonna. Gave me the name of someone from Woodbridge who apparently was very involved. Probably I shouldn't mention the name, or could I mention the name?
It's probably
If you say it, I'll
the
tell you.
one that was the commissioner? Was he the commissioner?
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And spoke with him, and it seemed like that was going fine, and then he just dropped it. So I didn't want to bother him. But anyway, on the positive note, we do have a commitment again from regional with Kate, and she's apparently bringing someone else also to help us out. QVH, not QVC, the Quinnipiac Valley Association is going to, they've committed.
Oh, good.
And we have a lady named Alexa who said she'd be very happy to put on a presentation.
Good.
Will offer us many brochures and things of interest also. And we have Aquatech committed, yay.
Yay.
And he's bringing someone also, and thought that it's a great idea and is going so far as to take an ad out in one of the local papers promoting the awareness of it. And of course, business savvy plays into it, and he will offer a discount if you do have your water tested at that time. But he's very excited about it also. So we have some good people coming. I have lots. I mean, there's so much in there. Lots and lots of things that were gotten from all over the country, from all different water authorities. Primarily Arizona. I mean, you can imagine where I'm getting these things from. And places that are pretty hard hit for water conservation. I have wonderful posters that I just recently got. I would like those blue stakes, the table, if we can. I don't want to do it without permission, but if we could put the posters, some of them, I even brought my handy dandy staple gun, on the blue stakes and put them in the ground around the table. I thought that would look nice. I have water design tablecloths to put on the library display. I even have a little water machine so that, you know, one of those trickle things. It's a very, very basic one, and I was warned that it might get lifted, but I don't care. It's all right, but it just, you know, it just shows the importance of the water going down and the water coming back up, you know, and recycling. You know, easy on the eye too. But there are many different brochures. One of them is wonderful, and it's actually a Department of Agriculture had given me this. They sent me for free. I have them in a box somewhere over there. 100 brochures that we can give out to people on ways to save water, ways to preserve the quality of water, and just little tidbits. They're wonderful. So I thought maybe 50 at the table, 50 at the presentation. I don't know, you know, how many people are coming. There's also water quizzes beyond the one I gave you last time, games to play. I have some children's books on water, which I told the library I would be happy to donate so that they can say, oh, these are ours. We can, you know, you can see these. I'm trying to think what else. There are also some maps of where water areas are, where the resources are, what areas we could literally tap into. Anyway, I would love to show you all the posters, but they're all rolled up, so we can see them at some point.
Okay.
But my only big problem is, again, the display and really how we can do that. The table, you know, I told you I had the stakes, which I gingerly painted blue, but it's really, you know, I'm going to rely on you for your artistic and good sense of how to do those things, how to display.
Two different events, right?
Right,
First,
well, the table, yeah, and then the library, in speaking with them, it sounds like it might be slightly lower key in the sense that they don't want to present a lot of things that might either walk away or, you know, just too much. So they had already pulled some books at one point, which I believe they're going to use. They can have the ones I have. And I forgot, I have a whole bunch of little contraptions and things that we can, if you want, we can put at the table. I don't know if they want to use them at the library, but just things you can do to your house to realize, you know, the primary culprit leaks, of course, leaky toilets, those little blue tabs. I have a whole box with a system you can put in, which really influenced me. We just had 2 toilets recutted so that they wouldn't leak.
Yeah.
That's definitely worth the investment.
Yeah.
I'm totally convinced of that, yeah. I did the blue tabs, and I went, oh my God, you know, this is worse than I thought.
Yeah.
So there are all sorts of little things that you can use to measure water, to show the quality of it. There's a home testing kit for water, you know, so I don't know how much you want to put out, but you know, I'll be happy to share that as well. All right, so
for Red Litter Day, which is probably next on the agenda, somewhere on the agenda.
Yes.
Cupop is sharing a table with sustainability. So we can-
Sorry. 11.
I'm not done with water.
Okay. Well, so we're gonna have some of these water materials at that table.
Gotcha.
Yep. So this is Sunday, April 28th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the town green across the way. And so save the date, join a team to help clean up Woodbridge roadsides. We all know it needs it. There's so much trash all over the place. So whatever, you know, if people would just take care of just their own street or half their street, it would make such a difference. So I intend to do my street, and so if everybody does a little bit, it helps. Get the kids involved, and I was also thinking, you know, about the fauna and the water. If we have children that would like to be in, the teacher in me, if we have children that are interested in doing little research and presenting to us, I think that would be interesting, and it would be fun, and it would be a learning experience, not only for them, but for us. So I know you have children. I know, Marty, you have little girls, and so if they're interested in doing a little report or something and coming back to us, that'd be wonderful. I know yours is in,
He's a
he's
little past that.
he's off to college.
My boys are
Yeah,
one
he's
to
off.
college, so.
Yeah. You wanted to add something about the water or anything
No,
else,
I
or?
did.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah.
Nancy's back.
A very small percentage of the families in Woodbridge are connected to the water authority. The vast majority of homes have their own
Well, yeah.
Right.
untested wells, and so we really need to focus on how to help those people.
Right,
Well,
exactly.
Tell them
That's
they
why
need
you-
to be tested, how they
Yeah.
can be tested,
That's,
what you need
yes.
to do to ameliorate some of
Yeah.
the things
Yeah.
they're gonna find.
That's how it all started.
Aquatech is
Yeah.
the,
Testing.
the testing,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's
I-
how it all started, because
Yeah.
Leslie
For
had a
problem.
problem with
Yeah.
her well, and so,
Yeah,
all right. Well, thank you very much again
Yeah.
to both of you, and we're looking forward to the presentations. And moving on, we have the Plan of Conservation and Development. And I just want to thank Sheila for working with us, because since you started working with us, things have gotten so much better. So we appreciate your assistance and your expertise in helping us move along here. So the Plan of Conservation and Development, this was conducted in 2015, and we continue to review it, and we continue to discuss it, and to see how we can get to our next goal.
So part of what I did was to take the plan itself, and if you're familiar with it, I should have brought it to show for the camera.
Yeah.
But it's a very large document, but in the back of it, it has just a breakdown of all the different recommendations that have been made for the 10-year plan, and it puts them in short-term, medium-term, long-term plans. And then it assigns various boards and commissions with some responsibilities or some opportunities to get involved. So I combed through and I found every place that Cupop was mentioned in that list. So it ranges from Parks, Recreation, and Open Space, which is Chapter 6 of the plan. Chapter 7, Historic and Community Resources, that's kind of the natural fit, I would think. And then there was a chapter in this 2015 plan on sustainability, and there's some pieces where Cupop was specifically mentioned. This,
Yes.
of course, is before we had a sustainability committee.
Right.
So maybe you kind of share responsibilities now with them.
Yep.
But these are the pieces, you'll notice C on the back there, engage residents in protecting air and water. So you guys are definitely on target with the presentations that you're looking to do, the information. So provide public notice on the ball fields about air quality. That's something that maybe, we've done water, we're talking about the plants and the water and the animals, and then air comes
Yeah.
after that. So, maybe that's something for over the summer.
Yeah.
It's meant to be in collaboration with the rec department,
Okay.
and they're obviously the ones who are assigning the fields to the various teams that are coming in there, but
So should we invite them to come and discuss how we collaborate with them?
to talk to them about air quality.
Or
and
should
how
I
to
just
get-
contact them personally?
Maybe contact them and ask, it might be easy enough, everyone thinks of public notice as a sign, but every child who's playing on these fields is connected to a parent who's bringing them to the field, who's probably connected either by email or text message, etc., to the team. The team is connected to the rec department because they're the ones
Right.
getting permission. So there's a way to contact them and give them information, especially when those ozone exceedance days are happening. Like, what should you do if you have a young child, you're heading to a soccer game, but you find out it's not a good day? How can you prepare yourselves? How can you, watch out for to guard your child's health? So maybe there's a way that we could gather information and help get it to rec, who then distributes it.
Right.
I see that you have assess emergency shelter options. Our family had our little hard hats. Russ Stoddard came in his Jeep and he took us over a lot of live wires away from our house, which had giant tree trunks on the
Are you
roof
talking
and
about
through the
Gloria,
barn,
when Storm
and
Gloria
took us
came
to the
in?
gym. That was the shelter.
Was this during Hurricane Gloria?
Yes, Hurricane Gloria.
I was guessing.
Yeah.
It sounded like her.
We were the lucky
Gloria's
winners in the state. I don't know if there's more now than, or if it's just gonna be the same thing, take somebody to the gym, or if there's more of a plan.
They've done a lot more.
Yeah, and we've actually, because through Sustainable CT, we had the Nature Conservancy come in and talk to us about hazard mitigation. The shelter plan is up at the top of our list of, we've been looking to collaborate with Bethany, because they have what's called a CERT team, which is, I'm not exactly sure what CERT stands for. It's an acronym. Here we're getting it from PUA there.
Yeah.
So they have a CERT team that's all together, but they don't have the kind of shelter facilities we have. And we said, well, we have a shelter facility, and we don't necessarily have people to come on a volunteer basis to help us, coordinate and organize that shelter. So we thought, especially after the tornado hit Bethany, could have easily hit Woodbridge.
Yeah.
Are we able to assist each other,
Right.
mutual assistance kind of arrangements? So that is on your list of community resources, right? Assess the emergency shelter options. So
Yeah.
I can
Now-
send more information on that
Okay.
if you want to focus on that.
I remember I lost power for 3 days, and on the third day, I think it was like 38 degrees in my house, and I just woke up and I said, I just want to go someplace warm and just get a cup of coffee. But it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and there were still people sleeping, so I didn't want to, I just left and went to a coffee shop down the road. But it was just, I was impressed that there were so many people there, and they were, being taken care of, so.
Hamden got hit very badly. Everybody has probably seen those giant stacks of trunks and
Yeah.
limbs. I think at their last selectmen meeting, they have begun to do some work on burying the wires. UI always says they're much too expensive, etc. But let's see what they're doing over there. And I don't think the first. I think that's also in existence in Fairfield County.
Yeah.
And there's a lovely street in Orange, and it's a really amazing and wonderful experience. You step on the street, big trees, no ugly wires, no posts.
Well, there's a street, I think,
Beautiful.
down off Meadowcrest, Crest something, I think, and their wires are
This one's
underground.
green circle.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's something. Yeah, that would be a expensive undertaking, I would think, but
See
yeah,
what Hamden
yeah,
does,
Yeah.
benefit from their
Yeah.
exploration.
okay. All right, well, thank you. So moving on, so, we talked about setting up a Cupop table at the summer concerts. Updates from the liaisons. So we have Lauren here from the Conservation Commission. Any update, Lauren?
You know what's funny is the stuff that I was gonna say is on Roman numeral 6, on the, Conservation and Development Action Agenda that Sheila just handed out. That's what we're doing. That must be how we figured out that that's what we should be doing.
Yep, exactly.
So it's exactly that, revised open space plan, that's what we're still working on, it's in black and white. What do
J.
you know? We're all, yep.
Yep.
J1 and 2 and also F1. All that, so that must be where Jason figured out how to do all that.
So smart,
So
Jason.
we're doing, yes, so that's my update right there, so
Okay.
it's still going on.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Jeff's not here, the liaison from TPZ, and David is here, David Lober, from the Board of Selectmen. So David, thank you.
Beach Road School had a problem with their HVAC, so the Board of Selectmen voted to authorize funding for implementation of the recommended HVAC engineered solution and to pursue actions to recover costs from the original contractor. So they're going to be going ahead with that during the school vacation, so they
Okay.
can get that all set up.
So they're
There's been-
going after the
Wait,
contractor?
during April right now?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I think they're starting it this week. There has been an application for events on the town property. That application has been finalized and approved. Center
What
renov,
kind of an event?
if you want to hold
A party?
like an event on the green,
Oh,
if you want to have like movies on the green or
Wow.
a farmer's market
Okay.
or, you know,
Okay.
Boy Scout presentation,
Oh,
or
okay.
any of those things.
So any event
Any event, you need to get approval, but now there's a uniform
or
form,
form, okay,
and it gives you everything you need to know.
Okay,
all
great.
pieces that you have to put in place, whether you need police, whether,
well, they
You
got
know,
the police right across.
right,
Would those include private events, weddings, things like that? I mean, I know, we had talked about that. Remember we
Yeah,
spoke about that? Yeah. About events and how it might be good as a fundraiser, but also significant for the town. Is that
Yeah,
inclusive of that, or?
yeah, they did talk about private events, there's a charge for private events. I actually brought up the thing about weddings, so, you know, it's been thought about.
Yeah.
And we were chatting about how High Plains Community Center has so many things for the Amity student body, but it's bigger and it's a bigger facility and it has more amenity, you know, bathrooms on site. And so you can't compete with that, but on a smaller scale, you know, it's nice to have things in the center of town.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We do fun
Okay.
things, you know, the concerts in the summer.
yeah,
All right, renovations of the center, there's some money left over from this year's budget, and that could go to cover some of the renovations of the center. They originally asked for all the money, but it wasn't put in the budget. There's a grant from the Greater New Haven Transit Authority. The application for the van was certified by the Board of Selectmen, so that's in the works. Sheila's also looking for some federal grant money for that project. I don't know if she's found any. Okay, we're looking in the couch
We
cushions.
did submit the grant Friday, and I think we're just
Okay.
mentioning, so
all right.
good.
Okay, and then there's, oh. The Greater New Haven Transit Authority grant, I don't think it's for the van, I think that's for, is that for the ride share? That's for the ride share. There's a separate matching grant for the van, $17,000, 500 grand, okay. We talked about the Country Club of Woodbridge property maintenance. Adam Parsons outlined some plans for dealing with down trees and moving them off the paths and also mowing. The rose garden on the Fitzgerald property, the Shanty Rose Garden, was offered to the town of Woodbridge along with a $50,000 life insurance policy for maintenance. And that was accepted by the Board of Selectmen. The details on how that will be taken care of is going to have to be worked out. We extended the Massaro Farm lease. We're reviewing a request for maintenance easement on 18 Hazel Terrace, and we approved both the annual town meetings and the biennial elections. So that's what we got.
That's great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, and Complete Streets, the road diet. So basically, we met this past week, and we have an urban planner who's quite knowledgeable, very impressive.
Just a volunteer here in town.
Volunteer, just moved here,
Really great.
very, really great resource. Susan, is it Susan?
Yeah, Dearland.
Yes, very, very good. And so we were talking about where in town we should put connecting sidewalks and where in town we could put bike paths and to connect the streets and to make it easier, to make them safer. We were talking about how people go so fast on our roads. And I know, I try to stay within the limit, the speed limit, and people are passing me all the time, left and right. I don't bother with them, I don't say anything to them, but it just like, it's very, very dangerous situation. And so we think that by putting the roads on diets, making the roads smaller, that it could impact and make the people drive slower. And putting the lanes on the side, but we're not gonna do the whole town, obviously. We're gonna start probably you know, it has to go to a vote, obviously, it has to go to the Board of Selectmen. But I'm just keeping you abreast of the discussion, you know, at some point, maybe we could have Sheila can add to it also. Please do so at this point in time.
Sure, yeah, I think one of our next steps we talked about was talking with Frank Cappiello, the police chief, to find
Right.
out what the traffic commission of the police commission thinks about maybe taking a street and kind of doing an experiment. First, find out how fast people are driving on it. So let's say it was Beecher Road from Center Road to Raymond Road. You should be going 35 on that street. What are people currently going? And then, if we got permission to paint in from the sides of the road so that there was a clear mark and a clear indication that you should not drive in this biking, walking lane, right? So we're not adding anything to build up the road, we're just making really clear stripes. There's research that suggests that when the road looks narrower, people slow down. But if we did it and found that that was the case, that we were significantly slowing traffic on those roads, making them safer for pedestrians and bicycle riders, we could kind of gather some data to decide if it's worth doing in other areas of town. So we thought we'd start by
Small,
getting
yeah.
some data. We believe that Frank may have already positioned some of those devices there to test speed limits to see.
Well, there's always, I'm always on that road, there's always a police car. I feel like
Right.
always a police car.
Right.
At the,
Checking for speed.
By the tennis courts, like, you know,
Yeah,
that
or-
little lot there.
Oh,
And
there's
that's
a
a good
police car
spot
there, too,
there
yeah.
to kind
Yeah.
of
But like
check.
after Fitzgerald, in between, I forget the name of the street.
Yeah.
there-
So one of the things they said though is that police are kind of random, and if you literally have them stationed there all day, every day, that's a lot of police resources. But painting the street is once you've taken the time to and the cost to paint, you're continuously asking people and reminding people to slow down.
It also reduces the traffic too. So,
Yeah.
you know, research has shown that it also reduces the traffic so that,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, and it would
Yeah.
encourage runners, more joggers.
Right,
It would be a
right.
safer
Yeah, a
lane
little
to
safer.
run the cross-country team.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be
I know, I can't,
spilling
when I
into the
see
road.
those kids,
Yeah.
I can't,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I know, my son was one of them.
Yeah,
So we
right,
thought of
I
Beecher
see 'em.
Road, we also thought of Newton Road, because that's where a lot of runners are, a lot of
By the
teens.
schools,
Yeah.
by the center
All
of
the
the
way up,
town,
yeah.
and by the church, you know, up to the church.
Yeah.
And because some of the kids park there too.
Yeah.
We know they leave their cars there, so.
We have hundreds of racing bikes on Litchfield, no bike lanes.
Right.
Please
Right,
put
yeah,
bike lanes
yeah.
in.
Yeah, that actually,
We
we
did
actually
talk
took a
about
map,
it, yeah.
and we started drawing on, highlighting different roads and their different issues, and Litchfield is a very, very popular road for
Yeah,
bikers.
yeah, for
And there
bikers.
isn't a dedicated lane, and
Yeah,
it can be
Very
a very
dangerous.
dangerous road, so, you know, we're looking into a few different options, and we're hoping to come back. So the Complete Streets team is sort of a subcommittee of sustainability.
right.
And Laura's also been attending the meeting, so we'll come back to sustainability, but we can come back to Cupop as well if you're
Yes.
interested. What we would want to do is kind of bring it to all boards and commissions,
Right.
especially recreation, probably conservation,
Right.
and get input and then see where we're going to take it next.
And I'm going to have you talk about the transfer station and what's going on with
Transfer
that.
station, we're working to have the scale installed there. The holdup right now is there, if you've been there in the last couple weekends, you'll have noticed, there's a telephone pole that everything is moved away, and there would be plenty of room to widen the road up, except for this telephone pole that still has wires connected to it. We're waiting for the pole to be relocated by United Illuminating.
Now, I don't know if everyone's aware that, you know, before, China used to buy all our recyclables, and it's no longer buying our recyclables. So we have a dilemma. What do we do with,
Yeah, the cost to the town
it's gonna
is
be
increasing.
huge.
The town used to be paid $20 per ton by the recycling company that would come and take it away. Now we're paying per ton to have it taken away. It is starting to make a little
A
dent in
dent.
our town budget.
Yeah,
Tony Genovese, the finance director, has mentioned it each and every month. He's tracking it. So what we're hoping to have once we get the scale installed is a way to weigh only the commercial collectors. It's not your personal vehicle if you're bringing your the recyclables and your solid waste there, you're not gonna be weighed, but the haulers will be weighed. And, you know, we need to try to reduce the number of tons that are going into solid waste and increase the number in recycling while there's a cost difference. But right now, the recycling cost is starting to catch up with the solid waste, so that's gonna remove the economic incentive.
Right.
We're looking at some other ways to divert tonnage from solid waste. So things like composting food waste, that's one of the heaviest things that ends up in your solid waste. So if you were to pull that aside and actually compost it instead, the town would not pay to have the solid waste volume taken
And
away.
then we
that
would
we're
have
currently
mulch.
So you're asking people to bring their
taking. Compost.
little buckets next to the sink to the transfer station?
Yeah.
We're investigating
We're
an
investigating.
option to collect compost and not actually have a compost heap going there, because that's a very involved
Yeah.
process and we don't have the space for it. But there's a way to have collection done that takes it up to the waste center in, I think it's Wallingford?
Wallingford?
Yeah, that does biomass composting. So we're investigating options, and you'll hear more as
Very
we get
creative.
closer to
Yeah.
making decisions. And the
Very-
Board of Selectmen will get that information, and then it will be the board that makes the decision about which direction we're going, sets the fees for the scale when the time comes. The ordinance for the town has to be updated in order to do that. Several steps, but we're moving.
Moving in the right direction.
We hope so.
Okay, so our next meeting is going to be Monday, June 17th, in the main meeting room. Any items for our agenda for the 17th?
We don't meet in May because of the election.
No, it just didn't work out for some reason this month or for May, so, but in June, we'll plan for next year, and we could decide if we want to meet in the summer, and also, when we want to meet for September, and we'll have that.
Yeah, let's put that on the tentative list
Right.
of items.
Yes.
So you'll need to approve future
Approve.
meeting dates.
Yes,
So I'll add that in. And
we'll add that
remind you
into
of
the
it.
items, and maybe we could do a follow-up on the presentations in the library and the table.
Yeah.
Well, no, the table won't be, but if we have to, maybe a discussion of the table for the July, who's gonna be involved, and Red Litter Day, maybe an update on that, how that went, and maybe how to improve it if we, so feel that make recommendations. Anything else? The fauna, the flora, the fauna.
Yeah.
Maybe you can report
Those
on that, Angela?
cameras, I think that they would be very popular in Woodbridge to see the animals that are going on their property. We're across from 5,000 acres of the water company.
All right, so you'll give us an update on what you envision, your vision is, and on okay?
My vision, I love animals. That's as far as I got.
I know, I'm gonna get more cameras so I can just watch the wildlife outside.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? It is 7:17. Okay, Leslie, motion, second? Okay, Marty, thank you everyone for coming,
Thank you.
good meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.